We are back on the Now Morning Show, Carrie and Lisa, all the way up until 8 o'clock. And we are delighted to be here with you to provide you with information, to have a positive start to your day, but also to educate and inform you. So what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago and around the world? As a matter of fact, World Day of Remembrance will take place this Saturday, 16th. And here to tell us more about it as we remember victims of traffic accidents, Jerome Skinner, Arrive Alive representative. Good morning, Jerome.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So tell me what, remembering traffic victims, that's what we're calling it this morning. Why is it important to commemorate, and what is Arrive Alive going to be doing?
All right. So the World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims is actually recognized by the UN World Health Organization. It's something that Arrive Alive has been recognizing for the last 7 years, right? And it's important because we have so many people losing their lives unnecessarily on the nation's roads.
What is statistics like now?
Well, we had a few over the weekend,
Right.
but I know up till last week it was 101. I'm still waiting to get the final statistics on what happened over the weekend.
And are we improving, or
Well, right
is
now,
it the same over the past?
If we continue on this trend, we'll actually be higher than last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Year to date, we are already higher than we were the same date last year, right? And the sad thing about it is you have so many people losing their lives because of decisions that they made.
Right.
Right? Over the weekend, we had someone get knocked down almost underneath the walkover, attempting to cross the road by Charlieville.
Ooh.
You know,
Instead of
taking the extra 50 meters, 100 meters to use the walkover, they take the chance to cross 6 lanes of highway where vehicles are going at a minimum 100 kilometers per hour.
Yes.
You know, and there's no margin for error when you do things like that. You know, and again, it's completely unnecessary. You know, so we encourage people to make the right decision, because road safety is a decision.
Yes.
You know, we constantly have people crossing under the walkover by Beetham.
Yes.
Right, someone was knocked down. I think a teenager was knocked down last week as well. You know.
And Arrive Alive, I know you all were very active, or still are, probably going out to events as well and educating the public and so on.
Yeah.
Is that still continuing?
Yes, we still do. We still do. We've focused a lot this year on education, going out to schools from preschool straight up to tertiary level education, teaching the young ones, the next generation, right? Because they themselves are road users already, right? For you to get from home to school, you have to use the roadways to get there, right? And everyone is a road user, whether you're a pedestrian, whether you're a cyclist, whether you're a driver, whether you're a passenger, everyone uses the roadways.
Jerome, do you have an idea as to what would be the major cause of accidents? Is it drinking while driving, as you say, crossing the road in this which one?
Based on the statistics that we have in Trinidad so far, the two main causes have been speed and drinking and driving.
With the question of speed, has there been any marked reduction since the greater enforcement of the speed limit in Trinidad and Tobago?
In terms of the number of fatalities or speed-related fatalities?
Speed-related fatalities, yes.
I can't say. I think that's something that the TTPS, because we get all our statistics from the TTPS, is something that they are looking into to determine how much of a reduction there's been.
And what about in terms of drinking while driving? Because I know there's also an increase in, the police has been clamping down on that. Do you find that Trinbagonians are more aware now, just as, in some of the other countries where people say, you're drinking? No, you need to get a driver. Or are we still very blasé about it?
Well, what I'll say is this. We have, one of the things that we do as part of the education is we actually do a driver education class for people who have had DUI charges. And we found that there are certain times of the year the classes get kind of small, and then there are certain times of the year the classes get pretty large.
Right.
Right. I've found it to be a seasonal thing more than anything else.
Do you see repeat offenders coming back into your class?
Unfortunately, there are repeaters. Unfortunately, there are.
Okay. So the lesson is not going home as yet, unfortunately.
Well, my hope is with the the demerit point system, hopefully, you know, there will be some real consequences to actions, and
Yeah.
hopefully people will start taking heed.
Yeah, which is what usually happens.
Yeah, because I mean, you can go from a driver to a pedestrian in no time flat, you know?
Okay, so tell us about World Day of Remembrance and what's taking place on Saturday with regard to that.
All right. So, like I said before, it's a day that we recognize those that have lost their lives to road traffic accidents, those who have been seriously injured from road traffic accidents. And we also recognize the first responders, right? Because they're the ones out there saving lives when people get into accidents, you know? So we have to take the day to recognize them as well.
Okay.
What we'll be doing, we have a solidarity walk and ride. Right? So patrons can come, families come with their loved one, pictures of their loved ones. Some of them come with banners, some of them come with T-shirts, you know, with their loved one's picture on it.
Right.
And you take a walk around the savannah. The cyclists actually are using a slightly different route. It's a little longer. You know, cyclists like to stretch their legs a little. And we come back to the savannah and we're doing a traffic village.
Okay.
Right, where we have a whole bunch of different stakeholders in road safety, from the TTPS, Ministry of Works, Fire Services. We also have people like ALTA, because if you can't read a road sign, you can't, you know, you put yourself in some problems.
Makes sense, yeah.
We have people doing eye testing. We have people coming to do testing for sleep apnea.
Right.
We have games for the kids. We have face painting for the kids. We have
a whole lot of things, a whole lot of activities.
Some road safety games that we give away to the kids, some road safety coloring books.
All right, so the main thing is to be there this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. at the Queen's Park, Savannah.
That's correct.
Yes, and thank you, Arrival Life, for the work that you guys are doing, Jerome Spring. I just want to put a plug for no texting and driving.
Definitely.
Drives me crazy.
Definitely.
You know what I do, Carrie?
What's that?
If I'm in a car and the driver is texting, I take the phone from them and say, let me do it.
Right.
I do it. I'm not playing with my life while
Very
I'm
true.
driving. So, you know, I want to say thank you very much and to encourage people to go on down to Road Safety Solidarity Walk and Ride this Saturday at the Queen's Park, Savannah, 2:30 p.m. for World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims. Thank you so much.